As I've told to the audience that ma'am is from the career counseling as well. So there are few career counseling related questions that have appeared. So let's get to those one by one. So, ma'am,
Yeah.
when to get the counseling started?
See, to talk about career counseling, being a certified counselor, I would like to emphasize all the parents that you have to put your child to through counseling, at least from the standard 8. It's not on the 11th or like the 11th standard or 12th standard is not the right time to choose their career. They have to go through the career development selection. That is how their life has to be, how their career has to be. They can act because nowadays kids are very skillful, and they know what they wanted to. They are very ambitious as well. They know what to do, when to do. So they start hunting everything, searching everything in the Google, and they work behind it. But what happens is that most of the kids are misled due to all this Google and other search engines, and end up in because with the peers and other influences, what they do is that they end up in something that everybody else is going to work on. So I suggest they have to work from the standard 8, understand what is their interest, work towards it, and physically and practically experience what it is, and then go about choosing a career. See, a 10th standard child decides
Subject.
means subject to choose. But before the 10th standard, they should know if they choose that subject, what they are going to get benefit of. So hope you understand that. So the child can actually prepare themselves before standard 8 and understand this is where my path is. This is how I'm going to go about. So they will be very clear and they will be very focused in how to go and where to go.
Alright.
So actually, it is only in India that we have a counseling system or a counseling procedure where only when kids go for graduation or going for abroad, they approach a counselor. That is a
Yeah.
very natural fact that they go only for that. And but when you go compare other countries, what they do is that a counselor is always there for a child from the day one, from the KG classes, to address their all their problems with learning. It's not that approaching a counselor is that you have some mental issues or any psychological problems. It's very simple. You Because of this stressful life ahead, we are with so much of pressures from the parents and from other all other environment. So what you have to do is that it's okay to address your problems with the counselor that you all have in the schools, and understand where you are lacking down and how you can improve yourself. That's not a problem at all. And career counseling is not confined to going abroad or graduation, to be very, very, very clear. It is from the day one, you have to know how better you can be, how best you can do yourself when you proceed your career with.
Okay. So, what does Vyakta have to do with internship, ma'am?
Vyakta is actually designed a wonderful program for the kids. As I told you, from standard 8th, it is mandatory for a child to understand what career path he or she has to choose. What Vyakta does is that we help the child with 3 internship programs of their interest. Like they can choose any 3 subjects of their, like if it is for robotics or chemical engineering or information technology, whatever it might be, they can choose any 3 of them and get intern from their virtual real-time interns. Like what they do is that they enroll with us and get trained it's like summer programs. Like you this 1 week or 10 days program, they talk to the real experts where they actually are into that field, and travel with them with the whole day, what they do and how they do. So what happens? The child gets to know what this actually is about. If a child is wanted to pursue an aviation course, and we will get them linked with an aviation specialist or a real-time worker, and they actually take them through a virtual tour to understand what the aviation department actually does and how they can get benefited out of, what are the opportunities, what are the positions available in aviation, everything they can actually know ahead. So once the child is clear from the aviation department or from that perspective, they can choose this is what I have to become, and they can proceed accordingly. Not the marks alone decides the child's career. So it's the child's interest and passion and skill that helps the child to go about how to choose their career.
Okay. So that's a really great program that Vyakta actually takes forward. So, how much, according to you, should be the role of parents in shaping the future of their children?
It's what when I said about mentoring your child from the day one. There are many difficulties that the child go through from when they start schooling. So that has to be that need to be very clearly approached, and that problems has to be addressed in such a way that you understand the child, work with the child, and help them to go on the right path. So when a child is having some learning difficulties, because every child is not the same. Some are good at listening, some are good at watching, and some are good at pictorially representing things. So that depends. Each child observes things in a different way. So the parents, what they do is that they see in the same perspective and compare them with the other child and go in the same direction and ask them to follow the other child's children. So what I suggest is that you understand your children properly by knowing what is the right thing for them. You just walk through them within their shoes and understand what is their real need.
Hmm.
What are they really going wanted to pursue in their life? How you can support them with it. And as I said, when a child approaches the parent saying that I need to get a career counselor when in the standard of eighth, they might think that it is not necessary. But the real fact is that they are on the right track. They are thinking in the wise way. So you have to support them, saying that okay, we will help you, and what are the means and ways to help. You have to find and support them in that way.
Yes, so true, ma'am. I absolutely agree with you. And also, like one question is that the competitiveness that the parents enforce on the children, right? That's not a healthy practice at all. So, how can
Yes.
that be avoided? Because the parents always want that their children are always on top, right? So how can that be avoided, but also they can attain that same goal that they want to have?
Yeah, very wonderful question. Like this is the current scenario that is happening all around the world. Why
Absolutely.
you have to compete the other child and come first. But when you do that, we are actually failing by not understanding the child's real need and talent, and forcing them and giving them stress, and this result many kids doesn't have the room to express their interest. So automatically they lead a stressful life, they end up in failures, they put them into very difficult situation, and at last what happens, the parents equally feel bad for what is happening. And I don't think that is the right practice for us to enforce a child to compete the other person. It's how you have to impart knowledge is that you understand things clearly, identify what is your right path, and follow that. You have to understand your child's talents, understand how and what makes them happy, and ask them to follow their heart in terms of studies. And never make your child think that they are a failure, or even they are not competitive enough. You don't put them to a trauma that you are not fit for nothing. So that actually makes them very in a very bad position, and they end up in so many other negative emotions. And at last, there are so many suicidal cases that we may come through, where the child gets failed, they commit suicide because they are not able to um,
Yes, the
accept
parents.
the failure. More than thing is that they cannot accept the failure, they are not able to face the world, they are not confident enough. See, what we as a parent do is that we actually give them, pamper them when they are very small, and give so much pampering. What happens? They are not facing any failures in the life. When they are supposed to face things, examinations, and you scare them with saying that you have to be competent enough, how they will handle the failure? When a child from a toddler, when a child walks, you come in front and make sure that the child is not falling. But the natural instinct is that the child has to fall and get up. Then only they understand what is falling and what is getting up. But before they do that, you already pamper them and make sure that they don't fall. You keep every safety measures around them and make sure that everything is secure. And when they are into an unsecured situation, they don't know how to handle the situation. So that's where, as a parent, we fail.
Right. Nice, ma'am. It was a really great thing that you have told. That if they don't
Yeah.
learn how to fall, then how will they know like it's called falling and it's called like after falling how to wake up? That's a great thing that you have told.